right, microphone check. Microphone check. All right, what is going on? How's it going, chat? Let me actually bump this up one notch. There we go. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing well. Happy Friday. Been busy. I had some last minute roosterfish stuff, and we have pretty much like one more roosterfish fly order to finish for now. I also did some striper flies, like some clousers and all that in the meanwhile. Yo, Rev, what's going on, dude? How you doing? Paul Bridgers, hope you're doing well. Mic check, sounds good. You're in the airport, Cragarol, 160p. I love to hear it. VIP lounge. Well, today we're going to be tying some Squimpish hollows. Which, so I need to tie, there's essentially like a guide fly, which I would say is kind of like a scruffy, EP, kinky fiber type V-tie fly. Very simple. And there's some Squimpish hollows I got to tie for one of my customers who's going to be leaving on the 15th, I believe. So apparently there's a particular green color, like a greenback color, that's very popular right now. So I think we're gonna tie some of the Squimpish hollows in this color, mostly white, primarily white, using the Squimpish blends and the Squimpish hair. This is a blend with flash pre-blended in, and this is a regular Squimpish hair. Yeah, I had a good week. Paul was just working on flies. Actually, so last Saturday we had Mark Sadati come out. Well, I should say, instead of him coming out, I had to go pick him up. So it was a big, a long day of driving and whatnot, but he actually filmed 2 flies here. So the 2 versions of a rabbit strip jiggy, how he ties them, and explaining how he fishes them and this and that and why he loves them, and his flash receiver fly, big 10-inch, essentially deceiver, but instead of hackle out the back, literally probably half a thing of flashaboo, probably 10 inches long. So I need to edit that at some point. That'll be going up on his channel, those 2 videos. He was like, oh, you can upload them on yours. I was like, nope, we'll put them on yours because, you know, your tying tutorials, we got to get some videos up there. I need to record another video. I wasn't able to work on that bucktail video because I was busy. I'm doing like last minute flies. People are calling for flies. So I'm, you know, doing a lot of tying. But I think whatever we tie tonight is going to probably be the Sunday's video, which I need to film at some point, probably tomorrow, and then edit. So I've been doing a lot of fly tying, been very busy with that. But, you know, saving up some money to work on the boat once all this roosterfish madness is over with. So collabs. I don't know about any collabs. Maybe, but who knows? We'll see. How you doing, Rev? What have you been up to? So, I actually went and picked up, this is a Ewan patch. I'd rather get a pack of Chinese saddle hackle, but they didn't have any. So these are great. These are like the exact sort of feathers you want to use for these sort of... I'm essentially doing like a kinky muddler style tail on these Squimpish hollows with the tented hackle. But so this is what I picked up. This should get us quite a lot of flies. So we are doing primarily white though for the body and tail, so we're going to be using white hackle. What's going on, Prime Slime? Oh, I forgot. Check this out, baby. Now it's kind of, we may need to refine it. What does it look like? It doesn't look very good, does it? We can't really see it. So let me, how did I do this earlier? Live with restream, chat setting, no, embed chat. Embed chat, customize chat, So what do I see right now? I see your guys' names. I can't really see what you're writing though. So we got to pick like a good style or something. The letter is in black, so we don't want that. Let's go default. Let's just try this. And do we want a background? Let's try it without a background, then we'll do it with one. So let's try this. Hold on, wait. I'm going to hide this. We're going to go here. We're going to get rid of this. Put the new URL in for the browser link. Is it the same thing? We got to find the right settings, essentially. You know, and this is what I'm just using right now. I might need to find a better option. Hold on, let me see. Copy, paste. So let's see. Maybe I need to adjust it so we can actually see it better. But I'm gonna need some testing in chat. Why don't you guys type some stuff, and then I might need to make the scale larger. 250% maybe. I'm trying to, so I'm getting both Twitch and YouTube chat on screen, so you guys don't think I'm just talking to myself half the time. Let me try this. Copy. We'll go here. Oh, you know what? I might need to deactivate it and reactivate it. Just give me a sec. We'll do a little check because I kind of need to do this live. So let me go here. Yo, Prime time, Prime Sliming, Prime Slime TV. Thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime. Get some LI Flies hearts in the chat, or some basses if you're on the YouTube. But thank you for that. You do any fly tying yourself? New here, brand new chatter and first time primer. You could join the Discord if you want, !Discord. Okay, so I can see the chat some. I'm trying to deactivate and reactivate it. Give me a second. I don't know if I can. Refresh. This chat is... Ah, here we go. So that's a little big. I do. I've been watching, lurking for a while. Very cool. You guys let me know. I don't want it to be obtrusive, so let me adjust it. I do kind of like... This looks okay. And Rev with the gift membership to the Needle Felter. Thank you, Rev. Appreciate that. Round of applause. With the membership on YouTube. You did not have to do that, my friend. It's too kind. Let me go 200% here. Then we'll go copy. Let's update the browser. Delete. Well, we're glad to have you here, Prime Slime. What sort of fly fishing do you do, or tying? Let's see. Alright, that's pretty good. Let's try that out. We got to bring the two communities together. You know what I mean? I like that. You guys let me know. I can always adjust it so it doesn't take up too much of the screen, but it also doesn't like the YouTube emotes for some reason. That's okay. All right. So we're going to be blending some Squimpish hair. Then we got our chats up. Bada bing, bada boom. See, it has the time codes and stuff. I gotta see if I can tweak some settings, but we're just gonna roll with it for now. I don't want to do too much troubleshooting. This will work though. There are probably some better options. This is just I'm capturing my restream chat. This is how I re-chat now, instead of looking at two different platforms. So I think we're gonna blend some colors here together. You can see I got some different Squimpish blends here. This is some nice green hair. There's not even a color on here, but now we're only doing the last tie in this color, so it seems like almost quite a lot, but I got a little bit of time now. I'm not super rushing, so we might as well have some fun, and this is a good customer of mine, so we might as well take our time and get a cool color blend. So I got olive blend, I got green. Let me adjust this because we're gonna be blending down there. Another green blend with some blues or darker green, and then I got some kind of bluish purplish color, if you will. So we're gonna blend these together to get a kind of like a almost like a Kelly green sort of mix is what I'm hoping for, but honestly whatever works, it doesn't really matter. We could probably just use this, but I have these and I thought about doing it. I saw this, I was like, oh, we could probably even just use this. We'll blend that, and then we're going to be doing the hollow fly, and it's going to be mostly white ties, but the last final kind of color topping nice lawn tie of this. So we're just going to go ahead and take some of this olive, and let's see, I probably gotta tie multiple of these, so we're gonna go ahead and like do this all at once when it comes to the amount of material we're blending and all that. So we'll get a pretty healthy chunk of each color essentially. Some of this stuff's gonna be quite long, so we'll have to cut it in half. Also, Jerry, this is like some pharmaceutical commercial music. Let's change this. Well, thank you again, Prime Slime, and thank you again, Rev. I appreciate that. And again, I hope everyone had a great week or weekend. I am excited to edit those Sadati videos once I get some time, but we got to do some videos here on the channel first. I told Mark, I was like, I'll gladly help you every once in a while. I'll do some, but I got to. I haven't uploaded for almost like a week or two, so gotta record a couple time tutorials here. We'll get back on the bandwagon of pumping out some fly tying videos here soon. But I got these rooster fish orders were too good. I got to take advantage of it, make some boat money. So let's go ahead and get some more of this chartreuse. Some of this stuff is shorter, so we can kind of just mix this in with this olive. Some of this stuff is quite long, so we'll go ahead and cut it maybe once or twice. We'll see. I like to kind of grab it, take the shorter stuff out, and then we can pull on the ends here, taper it so we don't have these cut ends. We can always do this as well. Blend it before cutting it, essentially. So like sections like this where there's like a clump of hair, this is where you want to essentially kind of pull on it like this. See, what I want it to do is probably maybe the messages disappear after a short while or something, or after some time, so they don't linger there. I'm gonna have to look at some settings, but it's all good. I'll grab these like this, and I'll just blend these together now. Let me grab a drink. Whew. Some high quality H2O. So I'm just going to loosely kind of hold the material in my hands, and I'm just going to blend the four colors here together, being certain to, if I see any bunches of different colors here. I'm going to kind of loosely grab some of the hairs, but not all of it. And the whole idea is we're blending the colors, so we kind of get a more natural look than if we just tied them in 4 different steps, which also has its own appearance and look that works. Drinking seltzer. I had to burp so bad. I'm not going to do that on the microphone. So we're just going to blend these here. So if there's some, what I like to do is, if it's a lot of material, I'll kind of take it and split it into 2 sections. Easier to work with. Less material, the easier it is. But you'll also spend more time doing it, so. You can see here we're starting to get a mix of some colors. So it's not, it's like multi-dimensional. It's not just green, it's not just olive or blue. It's a blend of all these colors, and a lot of these blends already have multiple colors in them. There's olive, there's browns and greens and rust and gold. All of these have multiple colors. So we're blending like a ton of different colors together, which is really, really nice. Because if you look at a bait fish underwater, when the light hits the water and reflects off of it or refracts through the water, the light shining off their scales, you get crazy colors. So it's one of the reasons why I like blending colors. Bucktails, squimpish, whatever it may be, right? And any sections where it seems like there's some colors that don't want to blend up, you'll see here like this, I'll kind of open it up. It's easier to work with. Let's do this one now. And then we'll blend the 2 together. Excuse me. And again, just kind of loosely holding it here and pulling on the materials. Let me adjust the music too. I don't want it too loud. Just have like a little background music, so I don't have to kill my voice. So a little side note, I've been playing some Elden Ring Night Rain. Oh man, it's so good. It's like speed running Elden Ring bosses. I've been having fun with it. No crossplay though. I didn't think you've been playing it anyway, Rev, but gotta say it's a good game. I'm enjoying it. Definitely enjoying it. Made me re-download Elden Ring to finally try and beat it, because I got stuck at a couple spots. Elden Ring's the sort of game where you get frustrated at times because there's just so much BS trying to ruin your and trying to take all your souls. Venturing into some of those caves, it's like a hellhole. But so we got a pretty decent blend here. I got a big chunk of olive here. Let me work that in. It's a little bit shorter than the rest, so I'm having an issue here. So I gotta target it specifically while blending the hair. Yeah, Night Rain's been fun. It's a good game. Not able to do live. Yeah. There's a lot that goes into the live streaming that we've had to figure out over the years, but having a reliable upload and download or bandwidth is important, and we blur that line sometimes thanks to Optimum, but I can't complain. It's been pretty good ever since I switched to Restream, so that makes me think it had something to do with like the Twitch servers, but I have no idea. Restream has been a dream though. So shout out to them. The YouTube channel. Alright, so we got this blended up. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and put all of these away, because what I used to do is just have a giant pile of materials at the end of my stream, but I've learned over the years that I need to put materials away as I go, otherwise It's gonna be a lot harder on myself at the end of the stream. A lot more cleaning up to do, you know? Okay. So now we can work on the tail and everything. So I got some 4-rod Gamakatsu SL12S. Big game hooks here. Let me go ahead and... I wish I could make it so it like disappeared after a while, the chat setting. I'll have to go back and do this stuff, but I will make this slightly smaller now. You guys let me know. Or is that a decent size? You guys tell me if you want me to adjust it all. I do see it's cutting off part of the text, so what I'm going to do is just go like this. Hit Alt, go up a little bit, boop. Just like that. So we don't have that artifact in down there. We'll see if that's not good or not. Alright. We got our Peruvian pan flute music. Perfect. We're going to get our 4-rod Gamakatsu SL12S, and I need to adjust the camera. Okay, my trusty bottle of Amazon Super Glue, which I've gone through the first one. This is the thicker solution. Still got a good amount, I'm telling you. These are good. These are good. Okay. So we'll go ahead. I got the 210 denier Danville flat wax nylon in white. Go back to the hook point here. Oh, dude, this is a classic song. This is like a David Bowie knockoff song. I love this one. So we're just gonna go with a kind of healthy pinch of bucktail here, and we're gonna tie this in pretty much 360 degrees, but I'm not gonna be too... It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. Something like this. And the fly is going to be about 6 inches long, or 5.5. It doesn't really matter. Somewhere in between there is about the size that they said is working pretty good. And I got to show you guys, actually. I got to show you guys some of the rooster fish that they've been catching. It does look like the chat, though, it might be somewhat in the way here. So where can I put the chat box? Just give up, Sarah. What are you even talking about? Maybe, let me see. Where can I put this? I'll put you guys up there like that. Let me see if this is like, is this, okay. Okay. In 2 weeks, your striped bass season starts. Very cool. Oh, just, the David Bowie. Is this like, was Sarah the chick from Labyrinth or something? So you dropped the deep lore references where I'm like, what are you talking about? It takes me like a minute sometimes because they're so like the quips, they're deep. So we pretty much got some bucktail here. I could kind of spread this around a little bit. Might add a little bit more. Twitch knows. Twitch knows all. Better watch out, they're watching. So we're gonna get 4 feathers here. Let's see, how many did we get? We actually don't need flash here. 4, perfect. One of them's a little jammed up, but that's alright. We use them all. We don't discriminate around here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Gotta pick that up. We're pretty much just gonna tie these on, tenting them. Now, where did that hook go is the question. Being that I'm barefoot right now, I really don't want to step on a 4-aught SL12S. We'll go like this. And you can see they're not perfectly flat. They're kind of sitting like this. They're tented, essentially. That's what we're looking for. We'll go ahead, tie 2 on each side. And what we can do is grab these, do the old wraparound, stop it from fouling. And also give it this nice pocket here on the belly. Okay. So now primarily we're going to be using white. And we're going to be using regular white Squimpish hair for the first section. And what I like to do is essentially pull some off here. It's going to be quite long, so what we're going to do is actually, I'll show you, we're going to do like what we did with the other one. But essentially I cut it right at the base like that, so we can get as much of the hair out. First things first, we got to get, there's some fluff down here, see that? We got to get that out. So I kind of just pull at the ends like this and get all that out. We don't want any short hairs, so depending on where you put your hand lengthwise at the near the butt end of the material, you can pull out shorter hairs depending on what length you want to go to. Now from here I'm gonna go like this because I want the hair to be about that length, so I'll pull those out. We'll probably go even shorter than that. Now I'm left with some really long stuff, so again, taper the ends and we're gonna cut it. We're actually probably gonna cut maybe this twice. Because again, we don't need it to be this long, right? So we are definitely going to, in fact, we're going to do it with this stuff too. Because that's more of an appropriate length that we're looking for, right? You could go the full length of the feathers. I personally like letting the feathers breathe a little bit behind the material so the feathers actually can kind of kick around and go crazy. You know what I mean? You fully engulf it in material, then it's not going to have as much movement. Personally, I think that's how I do it, you know. So this right here is probably, I'll probably take a little bit out. But something like this is probably what we use for the first section here. And all we do, yep, that looks about right. So we've moved forward. We should put super glue, which, did I drop that bottle or what? Oh no, it's right there. Take super glue, we go to the bottom because we wrap the thread around the bottom. The thread is actually further back on the bottom. We need to cover that in super glue and the whole section of thread to ensure that it's durable. So we go like this, spin it around. And then I don't want to get super glue on my hands, so we'll grab the dry end. Speed up the process. Got some super glue on my hands anyway, but that's okay. The reason why we don't want super glue is because we're going to tie this in and we don't necessarily want it interfering with our material at the moment. So we're just going to move forward of our thread bump here and tie in our whole section. I should be able to spread this around with my fingers because we have it pretty loosely tied. Kind of just like this. And we just want to wrap evenly forward, like so. Now we need to, now's the time to kind of, we can spread it around a little bit more. I guess we could have done it before, but it's okay. But that's looking pretty good. The whole idea is we don't want too much material on this fly because they need to sink the second they hit the water. Apparently some of the kinky mothers had to be trimmed just a little bit, but because I've seen, you know, it's so weird. I got sent so many photos of flies by guides and this and that from people. They were like, oh, this is what I found online, this is that, this is what the guy sent me, this is what I've seen. And the flies are like barely trimmed. So much material on there. And I trim my flies quite a lot, my kinky mothers, but so, you know, it would really help if I've fished for these things, but I got some good feedback. We're tweaking them even more. So for next year and for some of these, because people are still going, but just make sure they're kind of either, I'm using a little bit less material on them, so I'll save a little material, which is nice, and I'm trimming them much more exaggerated in terms of how much I'm trimming them. But I'll show you some photos. They're catching some giants on the flies that we tied, so it was worth doing all that. That's what I like seeing, people catching fish on the flies that I tie, you know what I mean? Might back off our thread dam a little bit here so we can let this breathe a little bit. You can kind of, if you want more of the material, top and bottom, it's kind of how I did it here on this initial tie, you know. So now a little bit of super glue on the thread dam to ensure it doesn't move, and also on the base of the Squimpish hair because it'll actually stiffen up the Squimpish hair. It has like a slight chemical reaction, which is pretty cool. But I used to go further up. We're not going to go too far up. What we can do is kind of just ever so slightly kind of spread this back onto the hair. Just kind of reinforces it, essentially, is what it does. Okay. This is pretty much just a basic tie. We're just putting some material on there, building the shape, right? Yada, yada, yada. And we don't want too much flash, so we're using a lot of this Squimpish hair as opposed to the blend. Apparently, the rooster fish don't like a lot of flash. So, but kind of like the Steve Farrar fiber, I think some angel hair mixed in is okay. It's more so like you don't want too much silver flash or like super flashy flies that people have tied, you know, probably have tied in the past or something. So again, I'm just going to prepare another bunch of Squimpish hair here, because again, it's quite long. Now, we are probably going to keep it somewhere around that length-ish. So again, we can cut it again. Now, two ways of tying it. You can tie them to where it's like pretty much the whole length, but again, we are putting a lot of emphasis on the movement in the tented hackle, so we don't want to really kind of drown that out, right? So that's a good amount of material. We don't want to add too little, but we don't want to add too much. That's probably the minimum amount I would add as the last tie. We'll go ahead and tie in 2 sections here, meaning we'll do it in 2 steps as opposed to all in one. So I can get a little bit more control on where the material's going. So I do 3 ties on these. No bucktail on the inside as well, because again, we want these to sink quick. So we need to leave room for the last tie. So I'm just going to move forward some. 1 or 2 wraps, because we don't want to build up too many wraps early on. Just kind of retaper this here. We'll have some of the tag ends there. That's completely fine. We'll just wrap forward, perfectly even top and bottom, hopefully, is the idea. And this middle tie is definitely going to be building up some bulk of the body, but that's kind of the whole idea here. So we're going to fold this back. Let's see, is that even? Let me wrap one more time to ensure that. Again, here, this part needs to be even, top and bottom, perfectly vertical. And side to side, but I think more vertically is the most important part. Which we have multiple videos on hollow flies, squimpish versions, bucktail versions. But it's always a process working on these things, perfecting them. I can readjust some of that material here in a sec. We'll weave our thread through that we naturally have where the two sections were tied in, so that makes it easier. I got just enough room for one more tie. Push that back a little. So now at this point you did one or two wraps in front. You can kind of fix the material here where we had that little gap. We can go around and see where we need to adjust this material. It's kind of the same thing we do with the bucktail tie. It's best to kind of look at it from the front, but I have a giant camera set up there in front of me at the moment, so. Same thing as last time, we're just going to build up a thread dam. We're not looking for like a bunker profile. These are sardinas out in Baja, right? So this is different than our traditional sort of striper stuff, but you can easily tie the striper, squimpish, hollow flies in this sort of style. You know, if you wanted to, you can go a little bit more three-dimensional for like a mullet. This would be a great profile for that. For those finger mullet and stuff that we get, for instance. Okay, a little bit of super glue here. And again, I'm not afraid if it gets on some of the squimpish hair, that's fine. We just want to make sure though, if it does, we want that profile to be nice and where we want it. Because it'll harden, essentially. Which is a good thing, make it nice and durable. Spread that around and we're looking good. So now we can grab some of our blend here, our white squimpish blend, which is already pre-blended. I didn't blend it. This comes pre-blended, the white sparkle. You can see it's got some various colors of flash in there along with the white hair. Some like pinks and blues and stuff in terms of angel hair. It's got a nice combination. It's a little bit better to show you out of the bag, I guess, huh? So we're going to use this for the belly, and we have our color combinations for the top. We might even add some of this on the inside of the green, because we want to emphasize that it's mostly white. To represent like those silver, mostly silver colored sardinas with some color in the back, right? It seems about right. Yeah, something like that works. You can always trim it down slightly. Now we'll grab one of our, like, we'll grab a pinch of some blend here. Lengthwise, we kind of want it to go almost like the whole way, but I'm assuming we can cut this in half. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. So has anyone been doing any tying themselves? What's everyone been up to? Or has anyone been fishing? I know there's been a lot of big fish being caught striper-wise. I've just been busy fly tying. So I'm excited to go out and do some fishing soon. But I mean, really what I need to do is work on my boat. But I still have more tying to do after this roosterfish stuff. I got tying to do for shops and all that, and some guides and whatnot. But this was kind of the big stuff that I had to get done in a certain amount of time. So, and these flies here are kind of the last part of it. So I think that should be okay like that. It's a fine balance of having too much material and having not enough. Not enough and the fly is very sparse. Too much and the fly is not going to swim quickly, or it's not going to sink quickly, which is apparently the whole thing that we needed to do, right? So it's always an interesting game we play with hollow flies in general. But again, I kind of like having some transparency. See how you can see my fingers through the fly itself? That's what we want, right? Now we're not using all this, so we'll go something like this. And you'll see what I do is I'm grabbing all the shorter stuff and I'm pulling them out so they don't get in the way. We want nice long hair for our hollow ties. Just like a little, you know, kind of like a little bit of color on top is all you need. You can always add a little white. Go ahead and add some white on top. Just that little bit of green on top. And I'd always prefer to have more material on top so the fly turns over and swims properly. We don't want too much material on the belly. It's always something we got to be careful about. I'm going to go ahead and fold this back here. I think that's in focus. Let me know if we ever go out of focus, because I have like so many things on my screen. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe we can actually pull that back to the center and have the white be poking out. Weave our thread through. Grab that white on the inside and kind of pinch the two white collars together. We could probably do the whole tie with the green. Honestly, it's okay to have the last tie be totally green. I thought maybe we'd go with the white on the inside. I mean, it still looks great, but I think we could do the whole tie green. It's not going to be too overpowering, because he really emphasized he wants them mostly white, so that's why we do these sort of tests. Do one, then we could tweak it, and then do the rest. Don't want to wrap on top. We just want to wrap in front. That's what we're doing. Kind of essentially something like that right there. This we want to kind of tweak a little bit. Keep that green mostly on the top. It's looking good to me. Again, nice and sparse compared to... You'll see me tie them a lot fuller for striped bass because we don't need the fly. These striped bass aren't cruising at like 30 miles an hour on the surface. You know what I mean? Even if they are eating bait on the surface, it's not... Rooster fish are moving at insane speeds, and the fly, like, it's they're so like on or off, you know, a lot of times. You have to strip it at like insane speeds. Like boom, 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 boom. The fly needs to swim right, needs to sink quick. It's all very fast fishing. Striped bass fishing can be like that, but it's a lot of times it's much slower. So now we brush it out. It's going to open it up some, because the material will always kind of get caught on itself a little bit here and there. Could probably back this off actually a little bit as well. Throw a couple whip finishes on there. Put some super glue on the threads. We can use head cement actually. Got a new bottle recently, which I guess, I don't know if they always came with this, but look, it has like a little thing in there. So you can kind of, I don't know if that's like supposed to be in there and it was always just stuck to the top. Just put that on there. So now we can glue some eyes on, which I got my 5/16 3D hollow eyes. And E6000 is over here. I went through, literally probably about, if we've tied, we tied at least 300 and something flies recently with the 3D eyes. So close. It's probably been about 700 to 750 of these eyes I've gone through recently of the 3D hollow eyes. Not 1,000 yet, but we'll get there. This year, have I done 1,000 3D eyes? I'm trying to think. I don't think I've done like that many Squimpish hollows and stuff, but previous to all this roosterfish madness. It's roosterfish madness, and I'm not even catching roosterfish. It's just madness over the flies. Yeah, so we'll tie one more of these after, but we'll just do the whole top collar green. I might adjust the length slightly on this next one. Do a variation. This guy is cool that we're tying these flies for, so I'll try and get him picture perfect. Get the eyes nice and even. You can look at it like this as well. Kind of tweak it. Needs to be slightly adjusted there. Front to back, I usually get perfect without needing to look. It's always this. It's always slightly off. So we just got to get that right without getting glue all over that. This needs to dry though. So before we put liquid fusion, this will need to dry. So we're going to probably do liquid fusion at the end of the stream because it'll be hard by then. We'll tie a couple of these, but we'll do the liquid fusion on this one near the end or something. So you want this to dry for probably at least 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, but we'll let that harden up for a bit. Let me see if I could show you some photos real quick without like doxing people or something. Let's see. So I got a text saying the flies are working. And check that out. Now, ain't that a rooster fish? And that's the kinky muddler right there. Right in its mouth. The ones that we've been tying. I've tied probably about 300 of those in the past 2 months. So that's in Baja. Which, I don't know the size on that fish, but it's probably, what, at least 50, 60 pounds. I mean, they get into the 80s. Like, you know, not the craziest thing, you know, so. It's pretty sick, though. big old fish. And I'll see if I could show you any other photos. Thank you, Paul. Just classic Squimpish hollows. They're so good. It's hard to beat. And then this dude, another customer of mine, cool dude. Check that out. Another customer of mine, Steven. Who just picked up the flies right before the trip, essentially. Look at the colors on that fish. Unbelievable, huh? A shout out to Steven Labasco on Instagram. Check him out. Cool dude. But he's a local fisherman that went down with these guys as well. And crushing it on the Rooster, the muddlers. He was the one that he had an issue where one of the guy just trimmed the fly slightly, but the other guy, I mean, I tied hundreds and hundreds. I haven't heard any issues, so maybe it's just one or two of them I didn't trim enough. Because I've seen so many times where they trim them so much larger, or leave them like almost virtually untrimmed, like the guide fly I'm tying for this one, dude. But you know what? It's all good. So we'll give this a little bit of time. What we're going to do is hit this with liquid fusion up to about here, make the whole fly durable, less likely to foul, and also just the eyes are not going to come off. So I really like the liquid fusion now, and even though, you know, I mean, look, we're already using super glue a lot of times, we might as well make this fly kind of, it's not a bucktail hollow fly, it's different. Squimpish hair is different than bucktail, right? You can tie them very similarly. But I've had issues with the eyes falling off with the 3D eyes over time from customers or just me fishing as well. So the liquid fusion with the kinky muddlers that Johnny Keynes does, it's a very smart idea. So I'm going to start using that on a lot more flies. Liquid fusion is a great product. I've started to really embrace liquid fusion as a fly tying glue, you know, like a head. It's almost like a head cement. It's a mix between like head cement and epoxy is a great way of describing it. It also dries out super thin. So it's really good. I really like it. I've been enjoying using liquid fusion. One thing is you'll find there's like white chunks, or there's like, I don't know, some of it maybe has gone bad or something. I've had this bottle for a bit, but you'll see where it dries kind of like almost milky, I guess is a good way to describe it. And when it gets wet, it kind of gets cloudy, and then it'll dry back out. So that's something I've noticed. You got to be careful. There's like you'll see like chunks, but it's not like white in the bottle. It's almost just kind of like cloudy or something like that. So this is an older bottle though that was brand new in the package that I ordered years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago maybe. So I just got to order a new bottle and try it out. But it's just something to keep an eye out, you know. So not everyone goes through a bottle of liquid fusion in a couple months like I do. So you may have a bottle that's been sitting around for a while. So anyways, let's take a look here. We've been streaming for an hour. Okay, let me grab another seltzer because all this talking is like drying my mouth out like crazy. And when I come back, we'll tie another one of these, but we'll do the entire collar with some green. We'll chit chat. If you guys have any questions, always feel free to ask, or anything you want to chat about fishing wise. But we'll tie another Squimpish hollow or two. And near the end of the stream, this one should be dried up. I'll show you how I applied the liquid fusion head to the Squimpish hollows now. So real quick, I'm going to clean all of the Squimpish hair off my lap. I've gotten a nice system down where I have my trash can here, and I just bring it up and kind of sweep everything in there because I'm telling you right now, the slinky fiber made such a mess. That stuff makes such a mess. Just from trimming it and blending it and working with it over and over again, you know what I mean? Okay. So, real quick, we'll play our Albie highlight video, and I'll be back in just a sec. Don't go anywhere, alright? We'll have to make a new away video as well, maybe with swim tank footage and some cool music or something. But at some point here, I'm going to be able to get caught up, you know, after all this time. So what I really need to do, though, is start getting back on the YouTube grind. So what do you call it? We'll try and do at least a couple videos a week, and try and do some fishing videos, man. It's like, I'm so happy I was able to, you know, I got all these Rooster fish orders and stuff, but I really have not been able to do any fishing for a bit. So I need to, like, get a little R&R in after I get a lot of these done. So, poggers. Is anyone else pogging over here, Anonymous? What's going on, Anonymous? How you doing? I watched the part of the Summer Games Fest. Usually Djibouti Show streaming it, but I guess the dude who like runs the stream pretty much was out of town, so I watched somebody else. But there was actually some bangers in there, dude. There's pretty cool looking games after some of the droughts we've been having. But what do you call it? Was so speaking of poggers, God, what was it? There was a game called Ill, I think it was, from like an Armenian and a Russian developer or something, and it was like just super like like brutal Russian style, like Resident Evil, almost first person. It looks so cool. Oh, also Resident Evil 9 got announced, and it's come back to Raccoon City, which Resident Evil, man, they've been knocking it out of the park with their games recently, so shout out. Pogging in the butt. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a little bit. All right. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Stay tight, all right? Yeah, keep it tight. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Aiden. Knuckle buster. Are you good? Do you need me to do anything?
Yeah, I might need a ride. Yes.
Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna turn now.
I'm gonna try and get on the bow.
Yeah, get on the bow. All right, you're doing good. Keep doing your thing. I'm gonna move us away.
Is that a little one?
No, that's a nice one.
Oh, let's go!
Come here, hold it next to your alley. Good job.
That's sick.
All right. Nice.
Let's go! Woo! Albie slap!
Good job, dude.
Yee!
Looking down the barrel of a 12 gauge little toonie, bro. On the alligator too.
God, dude! What the fuck? Woohoo! Oh my God. Yep.
All right. Fun in the hookah lounge. All right, let's keep tying some Squimpish hollows here. Make sure to push those eyes down after a while here. We'll come back, retouch that up, but that's kind of the profile that we're looking for right there. Brew!
Liffley cores.
Liffley cores, that's right. That's a, if you don't know, that's screw. It's the weakest catchphrase ever, but I'm sticking to it. But thank you for the 65 months. Round of applause for Brew. Thank you, my friend. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's like 10 years, isn't it? Right. How you doing, Brew? Hope you're doing well, brother. So let's tie another Squimpish hollow or two here. It's starting to get hot in my room, but I've been rocking the AC. It's just too loud while I'm streaming because it's a in-window unit, and the window is about 3 feet from the microphone. So maybe more, like 5 or 6, but still. So we just got the windows open. Hey, Brock, how you doing? How you been? How's the airbrushing going? Go ahead and get our tail section going here. Does anyone have any plans for the weekend? Oh. Sweat's low. We're not wasting any Squimpish air. We can use it all. And if we ever have any in the wastebasket, you can always take that, blend it, and tie a fly with it, which I do from time to time. Fantastic. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Go ahead and get the shorter hairs out of there. We don't want them. See ya. Go ahead and just spread these around a little bit. And get some feathers. Painting has been great. Very nice. You you got like some commissions you do on stream or something, right? Yeah, man, I gotta get back into I'm just not, I don't have any Warhammer desire at the moment, but I'm sure at some point I'll want to do some painting. My room is so cluttered in fly tying stuff at the moment. I need to get through this. All this. At some point I gotta go play some Warhammer again. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we're talking about painting. That's where my airbrush comes into play. We'll go ahead and get these feathers tented. Again, tied at kind of like a 45-degree angle, essentially. Did a few pet portrait commissions, and I'm working on painting of wasps coming out of a woman's mouth. Now that sounds pretty cool. That sounds like some sort of horror thing or something. I like that. I cast wasps on you. You failed your saving throw. A bunch of wasps come flying out of your mouth. Let's go ahead and wrap underneath this here. Yeah, I like stuff like that. I can appreciate some cool art like that. You walk into somebody's house, they're like, "Whoa, what is that?" That's cool. You got some interesting commissions you work on or working on. Let's go ahead and get some of the regular Squimpish hair here. We'll cut a pretty good amount out. Being that I gotta tie pretty much a bunch of these, so I might as well do them. Less of a hard thing, more of a woman screaming at him and the stinging coming out. Oh, okay, cool. Well, when I just visualize the first thought of wasps coming out of someone's mouth, it's kind of like a shock element almost, but it's more of an artistic thing. I got you. Metaphorical wasp. Very cool. Put this off to the side. Kind of taper this, cut this up. Definitely. Very cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. So we got some Squimpish hair. We'll probably pull all the short ones out now because there's always going to be new ones after we cut it like that. I'll take some of this, just put this off to the side. A little too long for me. And speaking of which, we'll probably grab some of the longer stuff. We'll use that first. I mean, honestly, this is pretty long. We could probably cut it in half. It's much more appropriate. But let's see, what do we got here lengthwise? How are we looking? Yeah, I want to go a little bit longer on this one anyway, so let's see, we'll grab a pinch top and bottom, trim this. Oh, I forgot super glue, so I'll put a little bit on after I tie this, whatever. I'm already doing this of mine as well. We'll just go like this. And grab another bunch here. Equal amount. I tried to sketch it like that, but I couldn't quite get it to look right. Yeah, I mean, I got nothing but appreciation for people who can do stuff like that, like freehand and whatnot. I used to do, like, when I was younger, do some watercolor stuff and this and that, and like I learning like, okay, well now you're gonna sketch it first and then you can watercolor it and this and that, and like trying to, I'm just not very good at freehand drawing and whatnot. That's why I like painting miniatures, because it's like painting in the lines almost. It's like childhood coloring books, painting minis. It's not like making something completely from scratch. Hey, Prime, whatever works for you. If I could stream at a higher bitrate, I would say YouTube, but I think right now, equally, the bit rates are pretty even. I mean, you could always check YouTube or Twitch, whatever has better quality for you, but YouTube's going to have more, I mean, Twitch is going to have more emotes and Twitch function and all that, but because it's more, you know, long-term established, but technically from like watching other streams that, you know, where people have really good bitrate, they're streaming at a higher quality. Just to give you an example, Twitch, and I can't use this bitrate because I'm not a partner. I think Twitch partner bitrate is 6,000 or something like that, or I want to say, or 8,000. 8,000, I think, because I'm streaming at 4. I could stream at 6, I think. And YouTube, you could stream at like 12,000, 14,000, which the what do you call it? Yeah, the encoding, you'll generally have a higher bitrate, a higher quality, but I stream at 720p, and it's being streamed through Restream, so shouldn't make too much of a difference. Personally, I'm happy I got both chats on stream, so at least you guys can see each other. Bit rates are going up for partners and affiliates soon. Cool. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can raise our bit rate up, because it seems like maybe it was the Twitch servers or it was OBS or what, but the Restream servers I'm using, we very rarely get any issues with bitrate nowadays. In the past, we used to get bitrate and frame drops all the time. It was so frustrating. That's why I stream generally at lower, but yeah, well, YouTube's had that for a while. I'm glad Twitch is catching on, you know what I mean? A lot of streamers that I've watched that have only been streaming on Twitch for years are now multi-streaming to YouTube, Kick, places like that. So it's good, because competition is good for Twitch, because they were getting stagnant for a long time, you know what I mean? They still have a lot of work to do. They ban people on a whim, depending on whether or not they like them or not, you know, compared to like other channels. So there's a bunch of Twitch drama constantly going on, but when it comes to like, that doesn't matter for smaller channels like me or like Brock or people like us. But what do you call it? Twitch, you know, definitely has things that they, you know, they need to upgrade some things to, because like I said, just the quality alone is like one of the reasons. I will say this: the freaking ads on Twitch. I don't run ads during my stream. You get an ad at the beginning. If I could choose not to run any ads, I would. I barely make any money on them. But watching any bigger Twitch streamer or whatever that runs ads, you get so many unskippable ads back to back to back nowadays that I literally just stopped watching Twitch. If I'm not Twitch primed or subbed to the channel and I get crazy ads, I can't watch it. It's so bad. I have my ads on YouTube set to conservative, which is like the lowest setting, and it'll pop up for 3 seconds and you could skip it most of the time. Maybe sometimes you get a 10-second unskippable, but if somebody's streaming to both Twitch and YouTube, I try to watch them on YouTube now. I'll sub to them on Twitch and still watch them on YouTube just because the quality is better, but yeah. I still try to use my Twitch Prime and stuff like that to support them, but so Djibouti Show in particular, I give them my Twitch Prime and then I watch them on YouTube because they stream at a really high quality and the quality is just so much better. But the chatting experience, the community experience is definitely far more refined, and the emotes and all that on Twitch and the gambas. You know, like we used to do our, like you get channel points, you can gamble them. It literally means nothing, but people love shit like that on Twitch. Pardon my French, but I mean, YouTube just incorporated something recently where you'll be like the #1 chatter, where somebody's like #1 because they've chatted the most or something to do with super chats or something like that, or so YouTube's trying to do things as well. But I still love Twitch, which is great, but I'm glad they're addressing or updating things, because competition is healthy, right? For sure. People have been complaining about bitrate limitations for years on Twitch, especially people who stream games like DayZ or Tarkov, stuff like that, right? watch of lore of Escape from Tarkov on Twitch and the bitrate. Oh yeah, just go to Woods. Just watch a stream where they go to Woods and the bitrate just drops. Like everything's so green and the encoding can't handle it. So same thing with DayZ. I used to stream DayZ and Tarkov, and you really need good, even with really good encoding, you have to tweak the settings and everything, but it's still like certain maps and areas or certain games and stuff, everything's green. The GPU or whatever you're using to encoding just can't deal with it. It's just too many green pixels at once. It's like trying to, there's like 1,000 shades of green at once on the screen. It's trying to figure out. I got turbo. Yeah. Well, that sounds like a good thing. Same thing with YouTube Premium, right? Just in general. Might end up getting that one day because I just watch so much YouTube. Like while I sit down and fly tie, I'm just usually watching some like YouTube video about, it could be anything from history to current or past wars or who knows, like a video on, I don't know, I would just watch so many random things. So much high quality content out there nowadays you can find, so. I haven't had a cable box for, God, I don't even know how many years now. It's been so long. I'm not even going to try and guess. It's been well over 10 years I haven't had a cable box, so. YouTube and Twitch. Love Twitch chat. I watch a streamer who makes a website that combines both Twitch and YouTube chats. So you get the best of both worlds. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I got my Restream chat. Restream has a embedded chat option, which is what we're using. It's not the most refined thing compared to like maybe a BTTV or something like that, you know. But I gotta work on it. But people are like, "Who are you talking to?" On YouTube and Twitch, they're like, "Who are you talking to?" Because I'm responding to people from other platforms, and I'm not gonna say, well, Prime Slime TV from Twitch says this. You watch a lot of bushcraft stuff? Yeah. There's one guy I'm sub to who he's a bushcraft guy. Desert locations. He's been doing it for years. Chad something, I think. He's got some interesting stuff. But I usually watch some gaming stuff, but a lot of like real world like stuff, history stuff, and there's all sorts of interesting things out there. I'll go ahead and fold this back. It's actually kind of amazing. Like you could probably get an entire degree's worth of knowledge off YouTube in any subject that you would ever want. Somebody's probably made like videos on all of the topics that you would need to like get a college degree on something. There's so much information on there, it's crazy. Slim Thunder, hit that like button. Yeah, there you go, that's right. Apparently if you get 100 likes, which I mean, well, you know, look, I'm just letting you know, if you're a streamer on YouTube, you got 100 likes, YouTube will start pushing the stream around more. So now we're a small-time viewer, Andy, but that's okay. I've been quite busy. We're gonna get back on the YouTube video bandwagon and streaming some more here soon. Really, the goal is, like, I haven't been doing any fishing streaming. Fishing streaming from shore sucks, right? I catch a fish, the entire phone gets wet. Like, I destroy my phones with salt water, this and that. I really want to get my boat fixed, and we can go, like, catch, like, sharks and striped bass off my boat. Those were some of, like, the best streams I've ever done and had fishing off the boat. Going out in the ocean, dolphins and whales everywhere. Like, that's the sort of stuff I want to stream fishing-wise, so I'm really working, just trying to make as much money as I can, saving as much money to fix my boat, because things are, you know, I'm finding more and more things that are broken, or essentially my swivel case right now, which is there's a tube or shaft with a mount that mounts to the bracket on the motor, and that I have a C-Star steering system connected to it. The shaft that it's called the swivel case stern mount is all rusted up. So I tried greasing it, but the grease fittings on the bottom. I can't essentially turn the motor with the steering or by hand. So I need to fix that or get that going. And so what we're going to do is grease the hell out of it, heat it up with a propane torch. If that doesn't work, I'm going to drill 2 holes, put 2 Zerk fittings up higher so I can put the grease fittings up higher and grease the hell out of it, hit it with a propane torch, see if it moves. If not, then the entire motor needs to come off and I need to figure out replacing that stuff. So we're going to try and do some sort of like, backwoods fix on it. Paul, I gotta say, you're the #1 all-star. I'm pretty certain, like, it shows me who's, like, the top commenters on my YouTube videos. It puts, like, a little star, and you're that guy, just letting you know, so. I do appreciate it. I try not to pimp myself out too much with the, like, comment and subscribe stuff, but. What's going on, Colin? How you doing? What's going on, Slim? Are you starting to cook over there in Arizona or what? What's the temperatures been like over there? It's starting to get hot over here. Got the AC kicking on. All right, now we can use our blends here. Is the fly fishing world your full-time gig? Yes, that's a good way of describing it. Yes. Tying flies for either guides, shops, or customers or people, regular people going fishing. Making YouTube videos and streaming fly tying stuff. And giving fly tying lessons in person is something I do as well. I'm thinking about trying to set up online fly tying lessons or maybe like a course or something like that in the future that you guys can sign up for if you want one-on-one lessons, personal lessons. But I've done some commercial fishing or shell fishing. I may do some more commercial shell fishing. We'll see. But I like working for myself, even if I'm not gonna become a millionaire doing it. You know what I mean? It's a full side hustle. Yeah, that's probably the best way of describing it. What's going on, Jen? How you doing? I see you tagging me in all these giveaways. What have you been up to? How you doing? You been doing any fishing? Yeah, I've been commercially fly tying full time for 8 or 9 years now. I used to be a mechanic and I quit my job because I was gonna permanently hurt my back, and I also hated it because the shop I worked for sucked, or I just didn't want to work there anymore. I was really over being a mechanic at the time. Get some bad experiences working at some different shops, and you're like, all right, well, I'm done with this. That looks pretty good to me. Yeah, what I will say is, though, stay in school. Like Billy Madison, stay in school for as long as you can. Don't become a fly tyer. I saw a hilarious meme for fly skins or whatever, where it was from the show. I think it's the show about the evangelical pastors who make a bunch of money. It's got the dude from Eastbound and Down. I forgot his name. Danny something or whatever. And it's like, Billy Bobby or whatever. He's like, why do you do what you do? He's like, I make zero money, $0, zilch, nada. And he's like, well, then why do you do what you do, Billy Bobby or whatever? He's like, I do it because I out of the care of my own heart. He's like, or whatever. And the tag was fly tires when you ask them if they make any money or whatever. It was so funny. I was dying laughing. You really don't make a lot of money doing this, especially commercially tying like I do. If you want to make money, you figure out how to tie bucktail hollow flies, and you charge $80 a beast fly, $40 a hollow fly, and yeah, do that. I don't, so I don't make any money. I'm like Billy Bobby or whatever. I do this out of the kindness of my own heart. Something, yes, gemstones. Yeah. Something precious gemstones or whatever. Yeah. I'm pretty certain that's the show that clip is from. I haven't watched it. My parents were watching it, and I've seen like it looks like hilarious. I gotta watch it at some point. It's also got the dude from Workaholics in it. Adam from Workaholics is like their younger brother. It's like 3 brothers or something. We're gonna add some more green here. Yeah, that clip had me dying laughing. Nope, no fishing. Well, it sounds like me. We should get out there. It's apparently pretty good. Get the stragglers out of there. Yeah, let's add some more hair up here to the top. So I got like 9 of these to tie, 18 EP guide flies, if you will, is what I'm calling them, whatever. It's just like an EP kinky muddler type thing. And I got some kinky muddlers, so like 30 something flies or 30 flies I gotta tie. I'll probably get these done in like the next week or so. And then I got more flies for shops. I got shop here, I got a shop there. I gotta tie more stuff for. We got guides that are planning for the fall. So some people reaching out, but really I gotta get some YouTube videos going. So I gotta, what I usually do is I sit down, I either film generally 2 to 3, sometimes 4. Like my record I think was 5 videos in a day I recorded. Because it only takes about 20, 30. Like, sometimes a fly can take 10 minutes to film, or it could take 40 minutes, right? 50 minutes, depending on how long it is. The editing is really where it takes a while, right? Because I try and put more time and effort into editing my videos, and hopefully it shows. So, that's where, the time sink, damn you, really kind of falls in, comes into play. That's right, we'll just retie this on there. It's a consequence of using a couple loose wraps to secure the material. Let's go a little bit tighter on the wraps, I suppose. We'll add a little bit more white to the belly now that I've tragically lost some in my shuffling of hair around. Just a little bit more to the belly, tiny bit. But yeah. It's fun. I enjoy it. I'm trying to do more. We have a storefront on Anglers Marketplace, which is a online place where people can like sell flies and lures and things like that. So I'm gonna take some time and put a wide variety of flies on there, and then because people ask from YouTube all the time and stuff like that, like where they want to get some flies and whatnot. I always tell people, oh, you can message me on Instagram or you could this and that, but it's nice to have a link to something. So, and I've had a website in the past, but man, it's so expensive running a website nowadays, like a storefront website. So this is an easier option for me, lower cost, and I could still sell flies directly without having to, like, if somebody doesn't want to go through like ordering that, through DMs or something. Not yet. I'll get it set up, and then we'll have like a thing. I also need to set up my chat bots in YouTube chat. I don't have that yet, so that'd be nice. Because whenever I log into my Nightbot, it's just automatically like through Twitch. So I wonder if I need to log out and log into YouTube as well and then do it. I wish they would have the option to like, oh, incorporate another platform. You know what I mean? Something like that. Well, it's looking pretty good. Just keep wrapping in front, build the little thread dam up. Back it off a little bit, actually. See, that's the thing. You can wrap in front, you can back it off, and it'll adjust the profile of the fly, essentially, for you. We're going to brush this out as well. Always brush it before gluing any eyes or whatever. Because watch, it'll open up. It'll, like, breathe a little bit once we do this. See? Because that material gets kind of stuck underneath itself. And now we got a nice kind of fuller profile that I'm looking for. So don't need to adjust it. And again, this is kind of what we're looking for like a sardina fly. This sort of profile. We don't want a big bunker profile, which is like much higher, right? We want a more slimmed down profile. We do gotta tie 9 of these, but we got 2 out of the way. That's pretty cool. Let me glue some eyes on here. Then we can go ahead and do some liquid fusion to the other one. So this weekend I'm going to try, we're pretty much going to do a tutorial on this sort of fly. I'm going to try and have it come out Sunday. This is more like a sparser, slimmed down Squimpish hollow, specifically. Favorite fly to tie? I mean, honestly, the Squimpish hollows, I say it all the time. I love the hollow flies, but I suck at bucktail hollow flies. And by suck, I mean I tie a pretty decent one, but it's not like Andrew Warshaw or Ben Wally or Predator Prey flies. So the Squimpish hair is so much more forgiving. I can actually tie a really nice looking fly, so that's why I love it. It helps me. But other than that, flat wings... Kenny Abrams flat wings flies are some of my favorite. He's one of like the most influential fly tiers for me, other than Popovic's. Pop lips are also really cool. They can be really frustrating to tie, but they're also one of like the cooler flies to tie in my opinion. But yeah, so Squimpish hollows are probably my favorite, and then I would say like just a good old bucktail deceiver. Basic sort of manipulating a bucktail or like this sort of synthetic materials and tapering the length of the hairs to create profiles, or to use that, tapering it to create the profiles of different bait fishes. That's like my favorite sort of fly tying. Not like a Clouser minnow or something, you know, it's always like manipulating the material to try and represent different bait and stuff like that. Because it's like the way you can almost kind of it's like your artistic impression of painting, but on a fly. You know what I mean? It's interesting. You could take a bunch of different hollow flies from different people. They'll look different. You know what I mean? Same material and everything. That's the thing. A lot of times people are like, "Can you tie this fly and like this, but like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool. I'll tie it to but it's always going to have my own personal flair to it because that's how I've developed my own style as a fly tyer over the years, right?" So we take 10 people from chat that tie. I give them all this material. We sit down and have them all tie this fly. Give them an hour. I guarantee you, all 10 of them will slightly look different. Some of them may look pretty similar. And you can give them, we could give you all a reference or whatever, but that's just how it is. Everyone has their own personal tying style that you develop over time. And a lot of times it's influenced by other people, of course, who you learned from or whatever media you consumed and whatnot. Came back to the fly shop. But now is a good time. That was a good question. What's everybody's favorite fly to tie? I think we've asked it before, but I like asking it every once in a while. What's your favorite fly to tie? Now it's your turn, Primal. This one feather's not... Get back in line. What are you doing? Get tented, bro. Get tented, bro. The woolly bugger forever. Simple man. Simple man. Mark said, I remember I did a poll a while back talking about, like, and this was for the first striper fly video. And it's like the profile, the shape, what's the most important, or just give me a clouser. I don't give a damn. And Mark's like, I can't believe people were voting for give me a clouser. He was like, it was just so funny. All they do is fish a clouser. I can't, you got to do something different. I tie a lot of yellow sallies. Since it's what I use a lot, probably, but I'm new to the fly fishing world, so I give it a few months. A yellow Sally, is that a freshwater fly or what? Woolly buggers, look, woolly buggers and clouser minnows. You get freshwater, saltwater. You could go catch any fish in the world with those two flies. Yellow Sally fly. Okay, cool. Dry fly pattern. That's what it looks like. Oh, it's a yellow Sally hatch. It's a type of insect, huh? So just some sort of dry fly. I like it though. There's a lot of different versions. Looks like. Time on my YouTube. Rap. I don't mind you talking about, but just, you know, I'll let you know other. We've in the past, it's like you gotta, there's a little common etiquette with what do you call it, and I'm not saying this or whatever, you're good, it's all fine. The Andrea fly, let me look this up. What's that? Andre fly. Are you coming up with this? The hell is this? Andre Declambe? That's not a fly. That's like some French actor or something. It's like coming up with like things of like The Fly, the movie with what's it called? Jeff Goldblum. It's the best fly for trout. It's in French. It's not. My Google's not recognizing it. Andrea fly. I can't put the little asterisk over the E. Oh, the Andrea streamer? Is this it? There's like a movie about Frankenstein or something. Or maybe it's the original Fly movie. Looks like the original Fly. Is that it? It's a Quebec creation. Here we go. Here's a French one. There you go. That's pretty cool. I like it. So golden pheasant. Grizzly, hackle, palmered over some sort of orange wax thread or whatever. You got peacock curl and either on top of some sort of calf tail or something like that. Yeah, looks good to me. Yeah, this is like the original Fly or something, which I've never watched. I've never watched the old school one. It's just a dude with a fly head on. I'm the fly man. It's me, the fly. I now have a fly head. Live near Blackwater Swamp, so that's what the fish just destroyed. Catskill dries are also fun to tie. Are cats, you like the hollows? Are Catskill flies or Catskill dries, are they just like a type of dry fly, right? Like a style of dry fly, is that correct? Am I correct in thinking that, in my trout knowledge? Alright, let's glue the head up. This one needs a little bit more time. It's a little crooked-eyed. This one maybe was spawned in some polluted waters. I'll grab this one here and kind of push down on the eyes. I tie a fly and 1 hour later I catch a fish on him. Well, you're doing better than me. So I tie a fly and don't catch a fish on it. That's how it's been going lately. Yeah, it's a style of dry fly, right? Or like a type of dry fly. It's kind of like the Coachman's or whatever. Alright, so we got liquid fusion. The eyes are pretty well dried on here now. And we always want to push them down. This glue will expand over time. So that's something we want to do. Again, the fly is mostly white, just has some green on top. We want to make sure the hair is evenly distributed where we want it on the hook point area. And this is again for durability, for ensuring that the fly is not gonna, or some of the material is not gonna foul as well. But we want to make sure those 3D eyes don't fall off, essentially. So we'll go ahead and put a dollop of daisy. I don't know what commercial. Well, I guess I do know what commercials are like. They do hit me with them. I don't know what TV ad commercials are like. Do they play TV ads on like YouTube and stuff? Am I seeing the same ads that you'd see on a cable box? Wonder how that works. So we're just gonna spread this. Make sure you get behind the eyes itself. It's important that you go behind the eyes because if not, you want to make sure it touches the material. We want like a full solid 360-degree connection. Can you do that fly with a jig head? Of course. You could tie any fly with a jig head. You just need the right jig head hook, right? Essentially. I used to tie big hollow fly bucktail jigs for fishing on bridges and stuff back in the day. It's basically just a hollow fly using Squimpish hair. You could easily do this with bucktail or something like that. I did have a website. I don't have one now, though. A Quill Gordon, a famous Catskill dry. Gotcha. Yeah, I ship all over. Or most places, at least. But, what do you call it? I don't have anything available online for sale right now or whatever, but we'll have something set up in the future for anyone that wants to go from the stream or like YouTube. It's a place where anyone can sell their flies or lures they make. It's called Angler's Marketplace, so it's probably not a bad place for people that are just starting to try and sell flies as well. I mean, I've been doing it a very long time, so I don't like have to do it, but I don't mind trying something new. But if you're completely brand new, you could, probably is not the worst way of doing it. But I'd say, you know, it's definitely, I mean, people are tying amazing flies nowadays, so the competition is strong. So make sure your fly tying is on point nowadays. Back in the day, you could get away. You should see some of the flies I would be seeing sold in stores and stuff. Fly tying was much simpler back then. So that hair separated there a little bit. We should probably next time in the future do that little super glue trick. Or I shouldn't say it's separated. It kind of got stuck together with the liquid fusion. But the super glue can hold it in place, and then it won't move when the liquid fusion's being worked around. A little tip I've learned from tying. I forgot tying these over time. And now we can just let this dry, essentially. You can always kind of adjust it however you like. This one I definitely went a little sparse on the tapering. So I might just end up keeping this one for myself. The next one we did, we got a much nicer profile on it. And we went full on the green. I kind of need a nice little Squimpish hollow for my fly box as well. This one you can see, for instance, even once we apply some liquid fusion, it's going to have a better profile to it. So that's the thing about what I mean by going a little too sparse. I mean, there's nothing wrong. This fly will 100% go and catch rooster fish right here, right? But this is like the extreme of sparsity when it comes to, or sparseness when it comes to the fly. And then you can see once we apply liquid fusion, what happens is then the hair will kind of clump up together because the liquid fusion causes it. So it kind of changes the profile slightly. But so it's a fine line, right? The balancing. And this one too, we put the white on the inside, so I want them all to be the same. But that's why you always tie one first, as a kind of when you're trying to figure it out, right? I work so hard for the 50 sub. Sad. What do you call it? You just gotta keep making videos. You know, I didn't get monetized, or I wasn't able to, like, you know, become a YouTube partner. It took me like 6 years of making videos on YouTube. Mind you, a lot of the times brief, long periods in between, but you know, it takes a while. So just stay at it. Keep making videos, shorts, whatever you're doing. It's not going to happen overnight. Look at me, I've been streaming for 6 years and probably nowhere near closer to getting a partner on Twitch than I was 5 years ago. So luckily I'm not too worried about getting partnered on Twitch. But holy hell, it's hot in here. Sheesh. Like, no joke. It must be like 85 degrees in here. Alright, we'll apply some liquid fusion to this one. I think this should be dry enough, the eyes right here. You'll see what I'm talking about. We added more material on this one. The profile is going to be where I want it. (34°C). You gotta pardon me. We decided for some reason that Celsius wasn't good enough for us here in the States. So, in terms of Fahrenheit, I'm trying to think. 34°C. What is that like? There's no way it's like 80s, right? In Quebec, there's no way. What is it, like 60s, 70s? Tying on OnlyFans? Yeah. God help us if you see me on OnlyFans. So you can see here, this one had more material to it. Even with the liquid fusion on there, it does kind of slim down that profile ever so slightly. Having enough material to where that hair doesn't clump together from the liquid fusion being applied. So this is the profile that we're looking for. And we go further back with the liquid fusion than we would a kinky muddler, because we're trying to make this fly A, durable, and B, we want to stop the Squimpish hair from fouling it at all. Can actually apply a little bit more to the eyes here. Oh, I gotta finish a Bald and Bankrupt video later. I forgot. Smog all day. Is the pollution that bad in Quebec? I mean, New York City's kind of got smog anyway, so who am I to... Not that I live in New York City, but... Man, you should see the traffic out here from the amount of construction that happens on the east end of Long Island. It's called the Trade Parade, but... We get New York City levels of traffic at times out here. It's crazy. Maybe not New York City levels of traffic, but yeah, right, I guess kind of if you've ever been stuck going into the city. It'll take you 3-4 hours to go 20 minutes. The forest fire. Oh, yeah, I remember there were forest fires up in Canada last year when we were clamming in June or July or something, or like 2 years ago. And they were talking about poor air quality and you shouldn't be outside, and here we are clamming, and we could physically smell and taste the smoke. I remember, because the wildfires in Canada were so bad and the smoke was like coming down perfectly. But the whole East Coast, I remember here in the US, had like smoke warnings or whatever, but you could like physically smell and taste it. Like, it's crazy to think that it's that large of a fire, that large scale. But it seems like it's always burning up there, right? I mean, that's kind of the way that pine forests work. It's part of the natural cycle of pine forests, too. But it doesn't make things easy, for sure, I'm sure. But yeah, there you go. The Baja Squimpish Hollow. Again, different than the ones that I normally tie, you know what I mean? Sparser, definitely like applying that liquid fusion on there, messing with the shape and the profile ever so slightly, but you know, it's getting some durability as well. But I've been having fun tying rooster fish flies, anywhere from, you know, 3.5 to 6 inches generally. All these hollows and kinky muddlers and stuff like that, of course. But well, thank you, DB. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. The Technic staff. Didn't we go over this? I don't know what the hell you're talking about with the technique staff, but I don't know. I think we went over this last night. I can't remember if we figured out what you were talking about. You're not talking about a bodkin, right? Or it's like your autocorrect or something? I feel like we resolved it, though. For anyone, Raf's first language is French. So his English is way better than my French. So I can't blame you at all. If you're taking orders and do game changers, let me know. I need some candy for a cobia trip in August. Okay. Yeah, I haven't tied game changers in a while, and it's not necessarily my specialty. But if you're always interested, you could reach out on Instagram. You could DM me, and we could talk or whatever. You can let me know. There's some guys that tie some killer game changers, but I could certainly do it for you. I've tied some bigger ones in the past for whitewater that are kind of like that sort of thing. Yeah, well, they're they're going to be expensive, whether it's for me or someone else. I don't know what the prices are, but I'm sure these larger game changers, cobia size, I'm sure they're probably charging like $30-$40 or something. But I'd be surprised if they're charging less than that, then it's probably tied overseas somewhere or something. But like recently, I was selling slammers for $30. I got to charge $40 for them. They just take so long. But also just because other fly tyers that tie very similar quality flies are selling it for that price, and I got to try and not undercut people and things like that. You know, it's like a certain level of respect in the fly tying world. But yeah, I'd always be down to tie out. We've tied some large ones before on Big Gun Magatsu hooks. We could maybe, if there's interest. I mean, I wouldn't mind tying one for myself soon for the boat, but we'd have to like test it, swim it out, and stuff like that. But for cobia, is there a reason why in particular game changers? That's just what you want to fish. If you'd ever want some slammers, you want hollows, stuff like that, big kinky muddlers, that sort of stuff. All right, sounds good. I'll reach out. We'll talk at some point, either after the stream or something. But I try and fly. Tie your fly on my YouTube channel, eBay. Do you think? Raph, you're trying, dude, and you're so close. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I give you a challenge. Tie a woolly bugger, and I tie your fly on my YouTube channel, eBay. Do you think? What's the eBay part have to do with it? You want to see a woolly video? Is that what you're saying? All right, we'll think about it. I got some stuff in the works, but potentially. Were you the one that on Discord asked if you had like a YouTube proposal? Was that you? Yeah, we could potentially do something like that. I have like a schedule of videos that I'm working on, but no. What do you think of my channel? Have I followed or subscribed you? I think I did, right? I haven't checked it out, I think. Or we did, but I don't think you had anything on there. Didn't we look? You got shorts. Okay. You got some stuff on there. Cool. Looks like you've been adding more. Yeah, I remember I looked last time you didn't have as much. So that's good. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe when I get some time or something. You're doing good, though. Looks like you're getting some views and whatnot. You got to stay at it, though. Keep at it. I saw you got, what, like 1.5K views on one of your shorts for woolly buggers or something? That's good. Keep at it. Striped bass jigs. Yep, I saw. Very nice. I like it. To be honest, I haven't found anything they are super interested in. One year they ate a deer hair popper, the next they won't touch it. Yeah, it seems like very hard fishing. All right. Well, yeah, we'll see. Potentially, I can always order some shanks. We'll take a look. I'll do a little research. We'll pick a material, and I can tie some if you want. And we'll pick a price point or whatever. I'll tell you, and we'll see. Or I could show you some other fly options that I tie, and you can. But it seems like, you know, you're looking for something with a particular action to it, right? Because you're like, well, maybe it doesn't matter if I throw a hollow or a slammer or whatever sort of profile. It seems like the game changer is going to have maybe some wiggle to it or something, right? Or you're going to try and entice them with that. All right, sounds good. I look forward to it. Try it out. Also, most of these flies aren't my flies. I'm just tying other people's flies and showing you guys how to tie them. I have one pattern that is quote-unquote mine, the Mullet Marauder, and we need to update that one. And even that is just an amalgamation of a bucktail deceiver, a flat wane or something like that, and just putting Sentinel's laser dub on the head. Yo, Sandman, how you doing? I saw you post what was that on Instagram or YouTube or whatever of Nantucket sailfish. You ain't catching or marlin. You catch a marlin on the fly? You son of a gun? Or is that on conventional? You catching mass marlin on the fly or what? The hot shot. Nah, it had to be conventional. Don't tell me you're over there chucking bubbleheads. Raph, no promises, all right? I got a busy schedule. I've barely been able to make videos for myself, let alone do a woolly bugger challenge video, but I appreciate it. But what I say is keep making videos, keep posting, and whatever your goals are with YouTube, you'll get there eventually. You gotta always constantly refine your videos, your content, even if you just have a phone. Work with that phone, work on editing, work on filming it, the lighting, the quality, learn about all this stuff. Hone your process, and over the years you'll build up an empire. Okay, I'm not doing that, but you will if you stay at it. What I should have done. That was from last year, conventional, but always try and throw a fly at them as well. That's awesome, dude. How far you guys got to go from where you're at, Nantucket? Like, I think where the tuna grounds are, it's like you can go 30 miles, or you got to go like 50, 60, or even, I forget how far you got to go to the canyon, but the Roman Empire, exactly. Rome wasn't built in a day. It also didn't crash in a day, but probably pretty quickly. That was a slow burn. Rome wasn't built in a day. 5 miles out for marlin? Oh my god, I hate you guys. 5 miles for marlin? Is it that they just come in, or tuna is 10 miles? Damn, dude. I mean, we get them inshore, but really you want to catch tuna, you got to go 30 something to 40, 50 miles out from where we are. Long Island has a very flat, like, slowly getting deeper and deeper and deeper until you get to the continental shelves, or you get to the canyon. It's a gradual decline. It takes a while. But, I mean, you'll go from 30 foot to 100 foot in 12 miles, but still you got to go another 20, 30, 40, 50 miles to get to, like, the real tuna, marlin, swordfish, that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? But that's awesome. We love to hear that. All right. Well, it is officially feels like 100 degrees in my room, and we got a nice little stream and nothing too long. I got to work this weekend on a YouTube video. We'll probably pick the Baja Squimpish Hollow and something like this, just a slimmer hollow, and then I'll do like an in-depth tech show, like close up with, you know, because I film it all in 4K, right? This and that. But like applying the liquid fusion and stuff like that. And I got to be careful. We got to make sure we. You got to be careful. You don't want the liquid fusion causing any gaps as well. So it's something to be mindful of. We could probably add. What do you call it? Small amount of a little bit more hair or something like that. But you just got to be mindful of it when you're letting it dry, right? So for instance, you kind of want to just manipulate it in a way that don't like have it sit there and dry in a way to where you're going to have a big gap, because it takes a little bit for the liquid fusion to dry up. Personal best striper, I don't even know. We didn't weigh him back then, but I'm sure it was like 40 something inches, probably like 30 pounds on a plug when I was a kid and when I was young. But not what do you call it, I stopped spin fishing when I was like, or really spin fishing, and mostly started fly fishing when I was like 12 or 13. And I stopped catching big fish around that time. Ever since then. Striped bass, at least. I've caught sharks. I've caught all sorts of cool stuff on the fly. Big striped bass on the fly is tough. My personal best striper on the fly was like, I don't know, 36, 37 inches. It's the one that I use in the thumbnail all the time for going live. And it was probably close to 20 pounds. But that's on the fly, so. On spinning rod, on jigs, I mean, you go out on a live bunker. I could go out and catch a 40, 50 pounder on a live bunker this June in seconds on a live bunker, you know. But on the fly is what I'm really trying to do, is catch a 40, 50 pounder, right? So you can go catch them all day on live bait out here under bunker pods. But getting a big fish that has lived that long to eat an artificial fly, you know what I mean? When you can only cast 100 feet at most at times, your fly can only sink and swim in certain ways. See, a lot of the time, striped bass fishing, your fly will outfish a plug in certain times because you can, what do you call it? You can manipulate, your fly, you can fish it in ways that you couldn't fish a plug, right? You can have it on the surface, subsurface, you can have it drifting with the tide naturally, this and that. But, when it comes to big striped bass, it's easier to catch big striped bass on bait and plugs and stuff like that, and catching them on the fly gets so much harder because they're so smart at that age. They've survived so much. They're like literally at that size, they're like 13, 14, 15 years old, 16 years old, whatever, you know. What's going on, Ducky? Really can't use live bait? Yeah, well, we have to use circle hooks here, which is good. I'm sure 90% or a lot of people don't, and I hope they get tickets because gut hook and fish ain't good. But yeah, a lot of people, I mean, live bait, the common thing, you snag a big bunker and you just put a hook in its mouth, you drop it out there, you catch a big old striper is the idea, you know what I mean? People have been doing that for a long time. But all right, chat. Well, excited to see you tie more Squimpish ties. Told you before, I've got a decent amount of that, but I haven't utilized it as much. Well, we got another hollow coming up soon, and this one's like slightly different in the way that we finish the head and tie it and all that. So hopefully that'll be coming out Sunday. So I gotta film it. We still haven't filmed it, so like I could easily just take the stream and edit it, right? But like we've gotten, I try to do a certain standard, so I could probably ban out so many more videos. But I've done that in the past. Like some of my older videos are streams and stuff, but they're editing streams and stuff. But the quality's just nowhere near as good as recording it. So in New Brunswick, it's legal. Okay, I'm going to Florida on Sunday. I was wondering if you could suggest a fly I should tie for tarpon. Yeah, tarpon toad. Do you have any of those? I'll show you what I would tie just because I know this is a common fly that people love to tie for them. Right? I think that's a bee chain or like a glass eye or something, or a plastic eye. It's got the rabbit strip upside down. You got some marabou or deer hair, one or the other, and you just do some like merkin style body, right? The other thing is an EP fly. This is what I'd be tying just because it's, I had a guide who goes down to Costa Rica every year, like asked me to tie these, particularly green with like orange head, but this was in South America in Costa Rica in a river because it was very turbid, the water. But any sort of fly like this and like a black and purple is like a very common color, or this pilchard color. But if you want photos or references, you could just obviously look it up. But saltwaterflies.com has a great selection of tarpon stuff, so you could always go look and see some of the flies on there. Obviously, this is super easy. V-ties, 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 or high-low ties, high-low ties, high-low ties, high-low ties. Trim it. That's all. That's really all it is. Right? Super simple. Very quick. We have the EP Kinky Muddler. It's essentially the same sort of thing, right? Except the whole fly is that, right? Or you could use some marabou and stuff like that. Could you tie one up real quick, or are you tying to sell them? What do you mean? Would you want me to tie some up for you because you're leaving or something like that? I mean, I have some stuff I'm tying right now for somebody, but I potentially could tie you some. You're leaving Sunday? No, it's, yeah, I don't know about that one. Do you, just one so I could copy it? Yeah. Sure. Sure. Give me a sec. Yada yada yada. Okay. All right. This will dry. Yeah, it's very simple. It's literally just V-tying your EP fiber. But I will show you real quick. So, God, it's fucking hot as hell in here. Holy shit. What do we got going on here? All right. I'm pretty much just going to tie it all in chartreuse because I can't be bothered to tie it in different colors. It's just the technique that you need to be worried about. I'm going to grab a 2-aught, whatever hooks you use. Whatever hooks you use, something strong and stouty, of course, or stout. You can use mono. I'm just going to use what I have. I'm going to do this real quick because I was going to wrap up anyway, so I don't want to spend too long doing this, but I will show you. Alright, so the main thing is we're essentially V-tying pretty much everything. Literally the entire fly is V-tied. This is the way I tie it. I don't know if this is how they tie it, EP and all that. It's all about having the right amount of material. I really don't even really want to trim this fly. I just kind of want to tie the material at a certain length. So it naturally is kind of trimmed, if you will. Start off with a V-tie. Oh. Yes, I'm a lefty. So V-tie, there's the material right in the middle like that. Fold it back, opposite side. That's your V-tie. That's what you're going to do pretty much the entire time. Now, as you go, if you look at the EP fly, you make the material drastically shorter so you don't have to waste as much. But a lot of times you could tie these so you don't even need to trim them. That's how the goal, a lot of times, is trying to trim it, tie it so you don't even need to trim it. Pull on the end slightly and you just move forward. Now with a V-tie, we want the material offset, so we have it sitting like this. We all vote for a random fly for you to tie, and then you do the marble drop game. And that sounds pretty fun. We could do something like that in the future. Recently, I've been tying a lot of stuff that I just need to tie for orders because I'm so busy. But yeah, when we get caught up, we could do it where you guys vote. No beast flies. Okay. But yeah. And no freaking dry flies or something. Has to be something saltwater streamer related. It's related to the sort of flies that we tie here on the channel. So essentially just V-tying top and bottom. And now we're just going to move forward. Because, you know, sometimes I have an idea. I'm like, I'm going to tie this fly because I want to go fishing tomorrow and I want to fish this, but... yeah, we could totally do that. Make it more interactive with you guys, but... do I have merchandise? I think we still have a freaking sweater available from Streamlabs or something. If I'm not wrong, I don't know if there's probably like somewhere on the Twitch there's like a link. I don't even know, to be honest with you. But don't even, you know, we just don't even worry about it. We're tying this fly. You asked for it. We appreciate you watching. So once we did like 2 ties here, I'm going to shorten the length of the material drastically. Not all the way, but we're gonna go probably half length on the material here. Yeah, I don't even know if we have a Li Fly sweater. I don't even know I don't even know what happened to mine. I had mine. I used to wear it all the time. Something happened. It's long gone, I feel like now. But in the future maybe we'll do something merch related, but I gotta like do it right, you know. I don't want to just go with some crappy thing, but I don't know. I set that thing up years ago. Who the hell knows? So we got a lot. I probably got to work on like my logo. I got a lot of stuff to do in the future for the brand, quote unquote, if you will. But really, I'm so busy tying and making videos and this and that. I don't even think about it half the time. When I tie, do you suggest I tie it on top and bottom? Or can I you can just do one at a time. I like doing both at the same time because that way I have the ties even. You don't want to tie the belly and then tie the top. Like you don't want to tie the belly and fold it back and then tie the top piece in your forward now. You want to make sure if you're going to do that, just make sure you're tying it even, top and bottom, right? And also with the V-tie, the whole idea is the material's kind of slightly on the sides. You can see though the length, I'll show you here. This is the length difference that we went to on this last tie, essentially. You can see how we're probably not even going to need to trim this really. But you can see the difference now and how that tapers down, right? And we're going to essentially keep it kind of like that length for the next tie or two. And then we can go a little shorter. And all I'm doing is I'm taking this, folding it in half from the previous, you know, for our first tie was pretty long. And then you can just kind of pull the ends a little bit to taper it. So we don't need to trim it, hopefully. The least amount of work we need to do on a fly, the better. Especially if you're tying these commercial, for instance. Which you probably won't be, but I have in the past, so. This sort of fly. So you kind of just learn how to like make it easier on yourself, essentially. So least amount of work, the better. Get it tied right in the middle, essentially. So it's nice. You can see it's kind of like an X, right? But when we fold it back, we get our V's. What material? This is EP fiber. You can use slinky fiber. You could probably use Steve4R fiber, but EP fiber, this is sort of the classic. This is the pattern. It's an EP fly. Just a V-tied synthetic fly. This is what it looks like. Been around forever. Could you do this with craft fur? Theoretically, yes, but the thing with craft fur is it's tapered at the ends and it's thicker at the base, but it is so soft and thin. What I would do is instead of V-tying, I would just tie sections. So tie the craft fur long here, and then as you move forward, tie it shorter, kind of like a bucktail fly. So I mean, it's tough. If you have synthetic, the synthetic craft fur, potentially you could, or I mean, all craft fur is synthetic. If you have the like more cheaper kind of coarser craft fur, maybe, but really you kind of need a long enough material to do something like this. I don't know if you'll be able to. So if you have just craft fur, then just tie it on there and just try and taper it as you go. So bucktail, I would just essentially tie a bucktail deceiver with craft fur is what I would do. We have the bucktail deceiver video on my YouTube channel you can watch. And just do that with craft fur. Take the bucktail out and do it with craft fur. The fly's going to look different, but you're essentially starting out longer and you're tapering it down the length of the craft fur. You're essentially kind of doing a very similar thing to what we're doing. It is different. It may swim a little different too. This EP fiber probably has a little bit more buoyancy to it compared to other materials. So it's like, but it is, is what it is. What's going on, Redneck Loving Life? How you doing? Go ahead, Again, move forward here, keeping it kind of like the same length. V-tying. And we might do a little trimming here near the end. And we could taper down the length here even more. But essentially just moving forward and V-tying. You could try it. You might be able to do this with craft fur. It's not really ideal, you know what I mean? One thing you find on tarpon flies, they always have a beak too. I don't know why, but it's never like a lot of times they don't tie the material all the way to the front sort of thing. Build up a little thread dam head. Maybe because of how coarse their mouths are. I don't know. But if you look at the old Stu 8 flies and stuff like that, that's also another option you could look at. XJ Crawler, what's up? Was wondering what kind do you need weight so it doesn't float? Well, we are going to trim it some, but a lot of tarpon flies are fished on the surface, essentially. If you ever see people fishing for tarpon, the tarpon are generally, it's not like the fly is like, I feel like, I shouldn't say on the surface, it's like a foot or two underneath the surface, right? It's never like you're tarpon fishing in 10 foot of water with you know, I mean, you may be, but you see people fishing for tarpon and it's like that you can physically see the fly. It's generally like a couple inches under the water or something like that. So a lot of tarpon flies aren't like heavily weighted. They are using materials like EP fiber, rabbit strips, stuff like that. And these flies are naturally, you don't want them to be loud. You want them to be soft when they hit the water. So a lot of times these flies are almost somewhat buoyant inherently in the materials that they use and how they're tied. Because it's generally flats fishing, it's shallow water. It's, even if they're in 10 foot of water, the tarpon, yeah, will be like rolling on the surface and stuff. Doesn't mean there's not fishing like that, but these flies are designed specifically for a certain type of fishing, right? You need to send me one of these so I can go catch on a fish on a stream with it. I think I could figure out how to work, make it work anyway. Yeah, you could. People do it all the time. You catch largemouth, smallmouth, any sort of trout species, of course. You can even catch catfish on the fly, because catfish are predatory fish. They'll eat things, not just dead things. Bufords, yeah, we've tied some of those in the past for Wolfram custom rods. He's out in Missouri or Michigan or somewhere up in that area, and out in that where there's muskie. So I've tied that fly in the past for him, or for some muskie guys. But I'm not a muskie expert. But we have flies similar to that, like snake flies and things like that. But that's a very certain. It's got a very big, giant chug head almost of spun deer hair. I haven't tied one of those in a long time though. In Costa Rica, we use weighted flies. We are fishing river mouths and the water's up to 40 foot deep. Interesting, Alfred. Yeah, like for instance, this fly with an orange head, chartreuse and orange. Tied this fly for a captain from the Keys who takes a trip down to Costa Rica, and in the river these giant tarpon come in, and he sent me photos of like very small rivers they're fishing in where trees are all around you and stuff like that, and there's 120-pound tarpon. So but this seemed like they were further up the river, not in the deep areas of the river mouths. They were like on boats, pangolas or something, going way up, or going up in like, like maybe 20 foot, 30 foot wide rivers, or 50 foot river. Yeah, more inland. Yeah. But that's interesting. So you do get some deeper fly fishing for tarpon. So what sort of weighted flies? Essentially like your traditional tarpon flies, but you're putting weight on them, or? Seducer, yeah. Speak of a fly that literally is very buoyant. The Seducer is almost like a dry fly, but it was designed to hit the water very quietly, and when you're mangrove fishing in the Everglades and stuff like that, so you don't spook a snook or a tarpon when a fly smacks the water. Now, striped bass, a fly smacks the water, and the striped bass might even get attracted to it. It's interesting, right? Or in shallow water, it might get spooked, right? Just dumbbell eyes. Gotcha. You just add a little bit of weight. And what, is that it? To get down 20 foot in a river mouth, I feel like, or 40 foot? You got to be using sinking lines, right? What kind of rods are people catching tarpon on? 10 to 12 weights. 11, 12 weights. You can catch smaller tarpon on 8 weights. 9 weights. But yeah, 10 to probably 12. Probably like 11 or 12. Like my 11 foot that Wolfram built. I mean, my 11 weight that Wolfram built would probably be good for tarpon. We've caught like 100 and something pound sharks on it, so I'm assuming it'd be okay for tarpon. It's just whether or not you can land the damn thing, because it's going to be jumping like crazy. 12 weight and up. There you go. The fly pattern I was thinking of getting a patent on works very well in rivers and lakes. Interesting. All right. So essentially, this is pretty much it. I mean, all we're going to do now is brush it slightly and then trim it. And you can put eyes on there if you want. What I would recommend is EP makes Game Changer eyes, or like dumbbell eyes that are plastic, and you tie them on there. That's the best way of doing it. The other thing is you could glue 3D eyes, but they will fall off. What you can do now is just slightly trim this. Because if we look at this, I mean, it's pretty much there. You could leave this the way it is, but if we go here, for instance, we could trim it slightly. Now, we are going for something more like this, I will say. So, now, without the beak. That large of a beak, right? So, I mean, we're pretty much, we could just leave it as is. You know, it doesn't have to be pretty, right? But I'll trim it up ever so slightly. You could just kind of come in here. You could just take a little bit off the top and bottom by the hook point. Just thin it out ever so slightly. If you really want to. I probably would have just left it the way it is. If I am worried about it sinking, if I want to get it a little deeper in the water column, maybe like a foot or two, for instance, you could take a little bit off. Or if you want the profile to be a little bit more, less messy and more kind of refined, if you will, right? But you don't need to get crazy. That's pretty much it. Tarpon flies are not like on the cutting edge of the saltwater fly world. Okay? Yeah, my tarpon flies are saddle hackle, schlappen, marabou, and deer hair. I mean, that's really all you need. I mean, you know, right? Just look at like Stu Apes patterns from the back in the day and stuff. It's nothing like really you see like it's less about the flies and more about how you present them and fish them, right? Can you patent a fly? I didn't think that was possible. I think technically you can. I'm gonna be honest with you though, like I have no desire to like come up with my own fly patterns. I told this story before. I did it once and then I looked in a book and the exact fly color combination and name was already done by somebody, one of Lefty Cray's friends. I called it the Deer Hair Deceiver, and somebody was going to put me in a book. I looked in Lefty Cray's book. Somebody tied something called the Deer Hair Deceiver, and somebody used the exact colors and everything. And I somehow, one for one, recreated the fly without knowing it 30 years later. So that's why I was like, I'm done trying to come up with flies, because it's all just something somebody's done before. You know what I mean? There's literally... People are probably coming up with fly patterns nowadays and getting credit, and somebody's done it before, but it's been so long. People don't know who Bill Catherwood is. They don't know who John Posh, I think, is from Connecticut. I think I was talking to Mark about him. All these guys that came up with flies in the 50s, not the 30s, but like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. And now people are like coming up with probably unintentionally like recreating flies and like, you know, the history of the past is being lost. That's one of the reasons why I want to make videos on different tires like Bill Catherwood. You know what I mean? His Catherwood, you know, his Porgy Killers are pretty much like some of the first deer hair spun striper flies ever. All the other deer hair spun striper flies are pretty much either kind of like that fly or the Angus. You know? But, you know, that being said, I know guys that sell fly patterns to Umpqua that have patented flies or whatever, or names and stuff. So, hey, you know, it is what it is. So, I'm not hating on it. Yeah, go for it, Ducky. You never know. You might hit the next big thing. But yeah, I'm with you, Frankenstein. It's tough. It's just because I unintentionally, accidentally stole someone's fly pattern without knowing it. Essentially. Let's see if I can show you it. Where's the book? Here we go. Give me a second. It's called the Deer Hair Deceiver. I'll show it to you. 1 for 1, it was literally the same fly that I came up with in 2000 or something. Deer Hair Diver? Dave's Deer Hair Deceiver. There you go. It would have been Mike's Deer Hair Deceiver. Thank God I never, like, came out with that. Dave's Deer Hair Deceiver. Is this it? Nah, that's not it. There was another Deer Hair Deceiver. Or maybe it wasn't called the Deer Hair Deceiver. I don't know. I'll have to find it. Maybe I could put it on Discord. Let's see if we could just scroll through and find it real quick. It might not have been... So there was a fly called the Deer Hair Deceiver. I think that's one of these things, or... One of these things right here. Which doesn't look like it. Oh, this was this guy's Deer Hair Deceiver. That's not what mine looked like, though. But I remember the exact fly that I tied 1 for 1 was in here. I had the sand Deer Hair Deceiver. Let's see if we can find this fly. It's got a yellow hackles and it's got a brown, essentially like the backside of a bucktail for the spun head. It's the same exact fly that I tied. It was called the Deer Hair Deceiver, but so I unknowingly took the name Deer Hair Deceiver, and then the exact fly pattern I unknowingly stole. Because this dude wanted to put my fly in a book, especially when he found out that I was 8 or 10 years old, and that I tied the fly. He was like, "Holy hell!" So this is the Angus, by the way. This is the predecessor to the snake fly. Before the snake fly, there was this. Pretty much the same exact fly. Oh, dude, I don't know if I can... If I'll find it. This is a sick book, by the way. Look how far fly tying has come. All these flies were people's prized patterns that were fish catching machines, and you look at them nowadays, they are so simple. By the way, this is all you probably need for tarpon. Look at all these Stu 8 kind of classic style tarpon flies. I don't know if I'll find it. I know for a fact though, I saw a fly that's like the exact same fly as my fly. Some cool patterns in here. This is all Popovic stuff, too, by the way. Check out that giant silicone squid. It's all really cool shit. It's a classic book. This book's probably out of print, probably so expensive. Seems like all these books are. Catherwood flies, by the way, check out the giant killer at the bottom. That's a Catherwood fly. That was developed in 1950, that fly at the bottom. Probably one of the first realistic flies ever designed for straight bass. Actually designed to imitate to look like a real fish, profile wise and everything, right? All right, I can't find it, but you get the idea. There was a fly that was the fly I designed. Anyways, chat, it's about 500,000 degrees in my room. Yo, Frankenstein Ape, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, by the way, here on Twitch. That's the point I'm at. Old patterns, tie faster and just work. Yeah. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with tying fancy flies. I love tying fancy flies. I'm all for it. But, you know, it's a good thing to remember every once in a while. The fish probably don't care. More for us. But, like I say, if you're, whatever you're confident in, that's what you fish. Do the fish care whether there's eyes on the fly or not? I don't know. Probably not. But if you pick that fly out of the box and you're like, man, that fly looks good. That's where we're at. That's what you should do, you know. Do you know what the Midwest Fly Fishing Expo is? I've heard of it. We have the one here. We have like the Fly Fishing Expo in Jersey and stuff. I was thinking of getting a booth at the expo next year and to tie some. Yeah, man, check it out. I will say, man, some of those things are like $500. The shows I were doing was like $150 a booth, and that was like to sell or not sell. It's expensive, but they might have a thing where you could just tie or something. So, but. You're definitely a fancy fly tire. Maybe. Unintentionally, huh? Looks like $40 worth of flies in 30 minutes on Tuesday. You lost? Oh, man, in the trees. It do be like that. I'm happy we don't fish on riverbanks around here. We fish on the beach, so. But we'll lose flies to the rocks. I'm from Indiana. We're already getting it. Oh, okay. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I did the fly fishing show here on Long Island this year, but just didn't get a booth to sell. Just they invited me to tie at a booth, so I sat down and tied some. But anyways, chat, we got a nice little stream in there. There you go. Hey, but look, we got some more time in. I was gonna be a lazy streamer and do like 2 hours 10 minutes, but we got another 30 minutes in there. We tied a quick little tarpon fly. Where's that sucker at? Again, bro, super simple, right? Do that. Look up some other tarpon patterns. Again, it's not that crazy. It's more so about whether your casting's on point and stuff. And the guide will probably tell you, no, use this, use that, whatever. I'm sure you'll figure it out. If you're going with a guide or whatnot. I'm assuming you are. That was meant as a compliment. Oh, I know it was. But I'm like I like to think of myself as the hobo fly tire. Yeah, no problem. Simple EP V-tie fly. If you guys if you're looking to learn how to tie any EP fly, it's all just freaking V-tied EP fiber. Congratulations. You can tie any EP fly in their catalog. They built their entire fly catalog off that EP fiber and V-ties, and you've just learned how to tie every EP fly. Congratulations. Double rigs and the boats that can't stop is a dangerous combo? That sounds like it, yeah. Yeah. All right, well, appreciate you guys hanging out, watching some Squimpish hollows and whatnot and chit-chatting. I'm going to shut off all the streaming equipment and let the room cool down. And go hang out outside for a little bit. But thank you so much. I got to film. We'll probably film one of these Squimpish hollows. Try and get it out, edited, get it out for Sunday, hopefully. So, because I've been slacking on the YouTube department. But thank you so much, chat. Appreciate you hanging out and watching YouTube and Twitch. I'm happy I got the chats on screen as well. We'll need to work on it probably as well and refine the process. But thank you again to Frankenstein Ape for the brand new follow. We had Brew coming in with the resub at 65 months with the tier 1, and Prime Slime. Thank you again for the brand new Twitch Prime. First time chatter, not viewer. Must have been lurking in the background. And shout out to Rev for the gifted membership. Thank you again, my friends. And thank you to everybody just watching. So hope you folks have an awesome weekend. Go out there and catch some fish, do some fly tying, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, I'll post in the Discord when I put out a video. So, hey Hayes, how you doing, man? I saw you posting some flies. Those look good, by the way. I wanted to tell you this. The only thing I would think maybe do different on your fly. I know you're late, but I'm just gonna comment real quick. Cut a slit in the wings of that, and I'm not a trout guy. But there's that folded material it did for the wings. Cut a slit so it's not, and also maybe water will pass through it or something, or maybe you don't want that. But try one where you cut a slit for the wings because you have that tape folded in half. So, anyways, yeah, you got here late, but it's all good. We'll be streaming again soon. Hopefully you caught that. Hopefully you didn't tune away. But anyways, we'll see you guys. You have an awesome night. All right, you take it easy, and